It is I, Rasko, of Rasko and Disco, of the Rasko and Disco Beer Show, also Rasko and Disco Beer Review. I'm just going to turn the volume down on my TV so, I don't get into any copyright issues. Tonight we have got more Euros beer chat, more beers, more chat of beers, more reviews of beers, more me, and the other guy, Disco. Hello, I'm going to wave at you. I've had a beer or two already. I'm feeling it. I'm ready for it. I'm just waiting for Disco. Well, I sing my famous song. Waiting for Disco. Tonight's hit list. Crumbs Brewing. Yes. Oh, Disco's here, finally. And here we go, go. I'll send him an invite, because I kind of want him to be on the show. Well, I have wanted. I don't know. You tell me. Hit me up in the comments. Waiting for Disco.
Yes. All right. Oh, good evening. Happy Saturday. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I've had a beer or two already. I'm ready. I'm ready to get going on what I've got.
Oh, you got a what is a little box?
Yes. This Crumps Brewing beer made from bread.
Ooh.
And I got this. I went to Morden Hall, a National Trust park.
Oh, yeah.
And in their little shop, they had this. So I thought, well, why not? This will be a bit different.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to have the Ruby Ale first, made from rye bread.
I didn't catch it.
There's something wrong with your sound, mate. I know it's usually my vision, but your sound, you've got a lot of static and interference. Was that just my headphone?
Well, just be your headphones as far as I can tell. Everything's movie this week. You're good.
Yeah, mate, I'm getting a lot of static from you for some reason. It's not the headphone, I just turned it off. I'll turn it back on. Yeah, right, because it's less annoying with it not on.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's the brew.
It's actually called Crumbs.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, that's a new one. That's a good find. Little bit of a rival to Toast. Toast is one that we haven't quite got around to looking into deeply. They do that whole recycled bread thing pretty well. They've got some really good stuff out at the moment, Toast, but they look really interesting as well. So that one's rye bread. So is it a red ale?
Yep, bread. And I'm going to give it a go, see how it is. Yeah, that's it, man. We did have a plan for the show, but the show had a few derails. It's not over yet. We've got our plans. So the next 2 weeks, keep your eyes on us, because I think we've got something good going on.
Yeah, hopefully if it all works out, we've got some fun stuff coming up. As always, with these things, like a few, like we say, derailments along the way, but we'll get there. We always like to get other people on the show rather than just you and me talking, as good as that is. So we shall see what. I won't say too much about it now, we'll just wait for it to happen.
Indeed, we'll see what happens, see how it goes, and yeah. So here we go. What have you got to drink? Are you drinking?
Yeah, I am. I've been kind of off, not really off the beers. I'm kind of off the review beers this week almost. I'm just finishing up one Glass Castle. It's because I do like to do Yorkshire beer on a Saturday whilst listening to me music. It's the last show tonight from the Bar Stewart Sons of Baltic. I've been listening to for the last 66 weeks, and they're from Barnsley in Yorkshire, so I do like a good Yorkshire beer. These guys are from Malta, quite a lot. This one is an almond and cherry mild. I remember rightly. Yeah, Fat Rascal was based on almond and cherry turf cake mild, which is a Yorkshire cake. It's called Fat Rascal, which is appropriate for me because I'm finding on the pounds here. But here we go. Anyway, yeah, I'm just onto this one, and I've got a few lined up to finish tonight. I thought we'd have a look at, like, because we're talking about the beer name Euros, which has nothing really to do with football as such, but it's got a European. It's just based around the fact that the European Football Championships are happening at the moment. So I thought I'd look at different places, and of course the stuff we're interested in at the moment, the groups we've looked at. England versus Scotland yesterday, and coming up England versus Czech Republic on Tuesday. So I'm going to start with some Czech beer.
Oh, nice.
This one I got in a pack from House of Trembling Madness in York. Really good for Czech beers, so do good Belgian beers, German, and some quite good American beers coming in, as well as a lot of good stuff from UK. I love ordering from Trembling Madness. This one is called Jarosovsky. Jura, 11 degrees. It is. I don't actually know what it is. Really don't know what it is. Got these ones really cheap. £1.50 these were, because they want to reduce because of the date. But they're all good. They're just doing a date error on them. So I'm going to get into glass and find out what it is.
Enjoy. Yes, I thought that England game last night was boring. I'm so glad people in Scotland thought it was great, but I'm not sure why they thought it was great, because I thought it was pretty boring for both sides. That looks like great.
Yeah, good stuff. In the sick-off last, we got Czech embassy. I quite enjoyed it. Well, I didn't say I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit pedestrian, and there wasn't a lot of skill going on. But it got the job done. This is what I'm saying. It got the point, and it's kind of what we needed. A point on Tuesday, or just not losing on Tuesday, means we go through in second place, and we maybe have a slightly easier run. We avoid the likes of Germany, depending on how the games go the rest of the week. But I've not looked into it too deeply. I've just been watching the football, to be fair. So.
Yeah. See, I'm never too keen on this whole we should come second to avoid. I think to be a true champion, you just don't bother. You just go with what you've got and you adapt your team. I mean, all right, I know people have won titles and championships by having an easy run, and arguably England last World Cup had an easy run until they got to where they had got.
I mean, bullshit analogy. You should go out and want to win every game. So you should want to go out and get 9 points in the group, and then it doesn't matter who you play next if you're playing that well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might be France or Germany or Portugal, and France are always likely to slip up because they'll still combust at some point. They're going to win it. And, Germany,
think France is going to. I'll be honest, I think France could win the tournament, but then again, a week ago I said Croatia is going to win the tournament. So
Wales, mate.
There you go.
Welsh for the day just as easily. I've got some Welsh beers in. I've got to do them. I've got to review them during the week, I think, because I haven't done them so far.
Oh well, no, plenty of time to do it.
How's the beer?
It's nice. It's nice ruby-ish aroma. It's very hard to describe for me, but it's got nice tones in that aroma. It's very how do I say this without being well. It's a very ruby ale, if I'm honest. I mean, you get all the barley, the wheat. I don't get much in malts, but a bit on rye. Particularly in aroma.
It's a bit rough.
Yeah, it's a good ale, if I'm honest. It's a good ale. It'd be great on cast, but here I got it, and there you go. Supporting National Trust, supporting this brewery who I've not come across.
and haven't bothered to look up. Yeah,
It was time for that. I've got the same problem with this, really, to be fair. I don't know enough about Czech beers. I know some Czech beers, but I don't know enough about the makeup and what they are and different beers you can get. Czech beers are quite good because you got some nice, crisp, clean lagers, but there's some good craft stuff out and about at the moment as well. Some good, like they're trying to get in onto the IPAs and stuff like that as well. They actually got stout in as well from Czech Republic. So,
good. That'd be worth tasting. I've got some Czech beers in as well. I wonder why we've both got Czech beers in.
Well, yeah, we both got something from German Madness, didn't we? Because we thought we'd do a whole Czech show. But that might be coming up. I might be able to get that sorted next month.
Hopefully, yeah, it is next month. Yeah, God, yeah.
I mean, it was a good idea because 2 years ago, I see it come up on the memories today, we was actually at the Czech embassy drinking Czech beer with famous Czech hospitality, so we thought we'd do a little nod to that. Didn't actually get any of the beers in that we had then. I didn't actually see any of the breweries, so we got some different Czech breweries, which is just as good, you know?
Yeah.
Can you remember anything of that day going around the Czech embassy? I remember the beers we drank.
No, I remember it in being really, really tasteful, really good beer.
Yeah.
Decent. And this was like the commercial range of Czech lager. I was just thinking, if the commercial lager in this country tasted that good, I mean, I'd drink it all the time.
Exactly.
I wouldn't have it. Yeah. Hello, Phil. I know you've joined us. Hello, thank you. And Wookie Ale just waved at you. Your sound situation isn't improving. I don't know. Can anyone hear Disco? Does he sound like he's in the middle of a storm? Or do I sound like I'm
adjudicator and General Secretary Phil Smith in the house? He can tell us. Am I coming across loud and clear? Because I can hear Rasko pretty well. This seems to be like a regular feature. Discuss our technical issues, but let's not dwell on too much.
Yes. Let's not do that because we did that last week. But you know what? I was having a conversation with Super Fred, the ultimate barman, and he was saying about your name and pretty much loud and clear. That's good. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my phone.
Maybe so. I don't know.
Fucking, that pisses me off if it is. Anyway, most things do piss me off. Anyway, so I was having a conversation with Super. You're not going with the whole, keep your name secret thing. You're not going with it. So if you want to just call yourself by your name, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Well, I mean, like, I generally use Disco. But then it's kind of weird because if people don't know the story, it's sort of like, it sounds a bit pompous. Like, my name's Disco, you can call me Disco, man. That's what everybody else, including yourself, well, not so much yourself, but that's what you call us when you set up a name. So it's like if I'm replying on like Instagram or whatever, it's always Disco, but in other communications. And then I did tell John when we was chatting from Lord's Brewing about why it was Disco, but I don't need to maintain any secrecy or I don't need to maintain that element of surprise about it. Really, like you love a little bit of theatre and a little bit of secrecy about your name, but it's like it's just a name, isn't it?
Fair enough. Well, if you wanted to go around calling yourself Disco / something, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Do what you want to do.
Well, generally it's Disco because that's what you've set the channel name up as, and on Disco you're Rasko, so that's how we leave it. That's how I normally sign off tweets and Instagram posts. So.
This is a bit too bitter. and it's not complementing what I previously had. And I've had a bit already. That's a shame. That is a real shame because I'm actually contemplating abandoning it now.
Oh dear.
Because I can't do it justice, and it's a shame because I can tell it's good, but it ain't gonna be that good. Oh, I'll see how it goes.
Yeah, okay. Same here. This is good. Nice creamy head on it. Really crisp, tasty body. Proper Czech lager. Nothing too big way with either side on the flavours or the aromas. Really drinkable. Rough around you, just a little bit of hot character to it. Again, I've got 2 others in the same series, so we'll see later on how they compare. Phil Spencer, like sink pour. I don't think it'll be a sink pour. You don't like to waste beers, like it's not that bad, is it? It's not sink pour.
No. It's not a bad beer, Phil. It's just that I've had some other beers tonight, and they're not mixing well with this. In my palate isn't just not tuned in for what's going on. You can tell this is good beer, but you have to be on the ball and thinking this isn't going to complement. Because I just had a pale, and I had a New England IPA and something on cask, and then I had a break for a couple of hours, and I had some porters and I had a couple of porters. So, no, this isn't complementing what I previously had, if I'm honest. And they were pretty adjunct heavy. This is not, and this is good. It's just not the right time for it, sadly. Oops.
Fair enough. Yeah, it does. I mean, it does depend on what order you do stuff in and what flavours complement from what you've had before. I mean, I generally start light, although I had that mild earlier, which is probably a bit darker, but generally start light and go, I've got a couple of stouts lined up next just because it's the end of the evening, so I always finish on some stout anyway. See where we go with that.
Yeah. So this week, the blonde fool Boris announced that restrictions will remain for another 4 weeks. Personally, you know what? I've got nothing against that. But you know what? Where's the business compensation? It's non-existent. So I just repeat what I've said many, many times before. You told them to close. You put these restrictions on them. What are you doing about it, pricks? And that's that.
If only you had a direct line to number 10, you'd be all right.
You know what? That'd be great. We could do that on a live show.
I'd rather you just got your name on the ballot paper. I couldn't vote being on my constituency, but I think, let's not go into politics because I think they should all be like out of a job and find a new way of doing it. And if I knew what that way of doing it was, I'd be king of the world about now, but I don't. So
I should be in charge. It's simple.
No, it's definitely disco dictatorship.
No.
Disco dictatorship. I definitely should be. I wouldn't do a worse job, but there'd be a lot of people unhappy if I was in charge.
Back to Phil, I understand that, Rasko. I did ban one of them, didn't pale, couldn't taste it properly. Fair enough.
The bad one will do that. If you go that way. So it depends on which pale, because we went ban one Silver Spur, and I think that worked. The Spurs got a bit more than the band one, especially in the. For everybody else, we're talking about Lord's Brewing Company, who we featured on the show last month. Silver Spurs, super pale ale, but it's quite hoppy. So.
Yes. So I was about to say something quite interesting, and it's completely left my mind. Again, that does happen a lot on this show.
What can you do?
I'm going to Brew London, by the way. I'm going to Brew London, hopefully.
So, see, lucky you. Enjoy. Catch up with people. That's the one that John at Lord's Brewing is at, isn't it? Paul's Beer Reviews. So you can go and say hello to them.
He is. Rasko, for a message from Phil. Rasko for PM or disco dictatorship. Laugh out loud. Vote Phil. Safer bet. Oh, no.
Well,
See,
if you say Phil's getting a job in my cabinet if we have it like that, but I still want to be in charge. I sort it all out.
mate, I would be supreme leader, the general, the emperor.
What's the first thing you would do if you was in charge of the country, Rasko? What would be your first?
I would make people happy.
I don't think you can just introduce a law that says you must be happy.
No. You'd give them reasons to be happy. Phil, you're going to Brew London on Saturday. Don't know if I'm there on Saturday. I think I'm there on Friday.
So you got the Friday session.
I might go on a Saturday as well. We'll see. I'll let you know.
Depends if you sold out.
Yeah. What I do to make people happy, I'd speak with them and I'd find out what they need, and then they would be happy.
No. Yeah, you've just talked yourself out of the job. That is like a typical politician's answer. That is almost like saying, "That's a very good question, Disco." Well, what I would do, and it's just bland.
No.
It's just bland.
All right, then what would you do if you were a leader?
Well, for starters, I'd reform the parliament and stop all the politicians that are currently politicians, apart from two. They'd be out of a job and have to go and work minimum wage for a bit to see how they feel. That's the first thing I do. And immediately ban them from ever becoming politicians again, because they haven't done a good job.
See, you're about punishing people, but I'm about rewarding people. All I want is peace.
Yeah, but you can't reward people who've done a bad job and a genuinely terrible job for the last millennia.
Phil says, are we going back to Ming the Merciless again? Yes, we are, Phil. Yes, we are. Yes, I'd be a bit like Ming or Emperor Palpatine. I'd sack Rasko's camera. Oh, not again.
No, you're all right. You're okay.
Oh.
Beardy Beer. See if she's popping in.
Hello.
Everybody drinking tonight, by the way?
Yeah, what's everyone drinking tonight?
Let us know. We always like to talk about what other people are drinking, what beers are on.
Anyway,
yes.
About this whole Siren beer name thing. What's going on? Because, you know, we've got to live up to this. They mocked us for giving coverage on this. So let's mock them back by doing a bloody good job.
That wasn't mocking. They weren't mocking us. That was just general encouragement and banter, as they are fairly king of the Twitter banter, to be fair. But they're progressing well. We've got a few winners so far. I think last week we had, two had gone through last week. So for anybody who's not sure, on Twitter polls run by Siren, Jura beer names, got a load of people to write in with their favourite beer names. I'll put one in. And sending out a bunch of people. So it's just a random. They haven't selected them particularly. I think it's just people who've written in. Sadly, too late for me. Okay. Yeah, we do a kind of late after hours thing. Mostly because it was after hours when the curfew was on. People coming back from the pub just carry on drinking. Or we were really starting drinking. But I understand that it is quite late. But enjoy some tunes. Enjoy the beers. Yeah, so they got 12 groups of 4. Whittle it down, top 2 go through. So last week we had Verdant's People, Money, Space, Time go through behind Torside's beer called And You Will Know the Beer is Craft by the length of its name. Also last week, Hackney Brewery's Millions of Peaches went through with Siren's Squiggle Wiggle. Actually picked up a can this week from Trembling Madness. I bunged it on the order.
Nice.
So we'll bring that on the show next week maybe, just to see what it is. Oh, somebody's talking about Evil Twin there. Who's drinking Evil Twin?
There's a nice bit of interaction between Paul and Billy Beers.
That Victoria Bitter on your boat. Victoria Bitter, man, I haven't seen that for a long time.
Yeah, man.
Right, so Billy Beer Reviews. Favourite beer name is Even More Bourbon Barrel Maple Jesus by Evil Twin. Yeah, Evil Twin over in America had a series of beers Jesus related. Haven't seen too much Evil Twin apart from the Super Rocket stuff. I feel like an Australian landlord at local pub that got VB, yeah, Victoria Bitter. Used to be in my local off licence. Always preferred that to Foster's at the same stable, innit? But that's a long, long time ago. About 20 years, to be fair.
Yes. I remember the first time I had...
Whilst we go through the groups, so... so Group C, last week, after we went off air last week, I think was in progress. Do you want me to go through the groups again, see which ones you think went through, Rasko?
Go for it quickly.
Okay, Group C was Rivington. The guy was an interior decorator. Hillside Legless Cow. Drygate's Youth Hosteling Mick Chris Eubank. And Pilots and IPA.
Chris Eubank, hopefully, went through.
Sadly not. No, Drygate's Youth Hosteling Mick Chris Eubank was just behind Rivington's the interior decorator. And because of the immense Twitter presence, not surprisingly, perhaps Pilots and IPA went through, which is a very uninspiring beer name, but they don't really do beer. We said last week, Tooheys Extra Dry from Beer Reviews. Remember that as well when I was in Australia?
So I remember the first time I had VB, I went to the, what was those Aussie bars that used to be around everywhere?
Walkabout.
I went to the Walkabout in Covent Garden on the day of the May Day protest, 2001. And yeah, everything was boarded up because the previous year was pretty violent. This year was not, and we didn't see any protests whatsoever. And yeah, I was drinking VB for the first time. And I have some other significant memories of that night, which I'm not going to share on camera. Anyway.
I remember the advert for Tooheys. Do you remember the song? Gotta get a Tooheys for two. Quite Tom, good to see you. That's yourself. Superb, sir.
Hell. So, continue with the groups, mate.
Yeah, so the next one on Twitter that finished the other day, finished on the 15th. This was Group D. This was the one that we were really interested in because it contained Perivale, and their beer called Very Pale.
Yeah.
It contained Turning Point's Big Beat Manifesto, a brewery up in Scotland called Balmahar's Malarkey Pale, and Brew York's Rhubarb Streisand. Greetings, Lucy. Cheers. Thanks for popping in. Not surprisingly, I think one of the favourites myself for the competition is Brew York's Rhubarb Streisand. That went through in first place. And in a very, very close call for second, Turning Point's Big Beat Manifesto beat Perivale's Very Pale by 1.4%.
Nice.
So we was quite pleased at that, and Siren did seem to give some big ups to Perivale for that name. They quite liked it too. That's one of my favourite names in beer because it's just really it's swapping the P and the V around. Very Pale. And a lot of Perivale's other beer names, they just call them very berry, very hazy, very juicy. It's just a simple, whether you like beer names or not, that's a simple way of doing it, isn't it? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Typical
comment.
The VP asked them to bloody change it, then it disappeared off Tesco shelves. I didn't even know it was on Tesco, to be fair. Bogon. B Review says, what's your opinion on Vibrant Forest? For me, Vibrant Forest is one I really want to try. They had was it berry sour or berry stout that looked really good in the purple cans. Down the south coast, they're on the list to try, and I did have some in the basket. They're another one of these breweries. They've got so many good beers. I put them in the basket and end up with like 60 quid, and I just can't do it. So, and I can't choose which ones to bin off, so I end up not pulling the trigger. I've heard lots of good things about Vibrant Forest. Yourself, Rasko?
I've had one beer from them. The chocolate gatto. What's your opinion on them beer reviews? Please let us know. I do like
South Coast, so it shouldn't be too late to get down to at some point.
At some point, yeah. I did enjoy it. It's quite strong. I've had it in 2 places, and you know it does hit me quite hard, and that's not a bad thing. It's just you've got to be aware that that's what it does. And I'll happily drink it another time. A lot of strong, good
beers though. We got it's like I think we've got a tap room. It's the sort of place where you could spend all afternoon because they've got so many good sounding beers. Anyway.
Yes, speaking of tap rooms, I'm due to be visiting the Bermondsey Beer Mile in 2-3 weeks' time. I'm not going to let all the stalkers know when I'm there, because, you know, I don't want to be hounded. That's why I have the sunglasses these days, just to, you know, keep people at bay, you know, honest. What's Bearded Beer Review say? I have to take the sunglasses off to read it.
Tattoo. Yeah, do some good beers. Amazing beers. A peer review's got a tattoo of the logo of the tree.
Nice.
Fair play. It is a tidy looking logo on the cans, to be fair. It's quite neat. Yeah, remind me, they're local to you, but it's Hampshire, down that way, down, I presume the New Forest way, is it? I think, if I remember right. If not down Southampton way. Yeah, because I was looking at them when I was getting Steamtown in. I got a load of beers in from Steamtown before they got like national coverage. And Steamtown are in Eastleigh, just outside of Southampton. And I was looking at all the local bottle shops, and Vibrant Forest came up quite a lot. I'm sure that's where they are. So just quickly, do you want to go through the next group?
Yes, go for it.
Yeah, so Group E, quite a big group, this one I think, contains Polly's, This Is Why I Love You, Fierce Beers, Fancy Juice, Electric Bears, Duck Q, Autocorrect, and Ascot's Gold Cup.
I don't remember what I picked.
Oh, we went for Duck Q, Autocorrect, because it was funniest.
Yes.
Fortunately, that went through in first place. We was pleased to pick a winner there. And it was backed up in second place by Fancy Juice by Fierce. Surprised to see Polly's not more popular there. That's a brewery I know about. In fact, I think Craig was chatting about Ascot on the stream yesterday. Oh, Lymington. Yeah, Lymington down on the south coast where this ferry goes from. Oh, using Dorset, but they're from outside Southampton. Yeah, so all down the south coast. An area I know reasonably well, been there a fair few times. Lovely part of the world, and some good breweries from down there as well, down the south coast, all the way along there from Bournemouth to Southampton. Group F, Rasko?
Yep.
Group F. Andrew Weir. Greetings, sir. Group F is double-barreled back to reality, Rock Leopard, Savage Scene, Inner City Pale Ale, Arbor Ales this time next year, Rodney, and Weird Beard Sweet Child of Pine, sorry. Beardy, right. Now, that's funny you should say that, actually, because Billy Beer Review says, have you had anything by Wild Weather? They're currently my favourite brewery. I will come on to Wild Weather very shortly because they're coming up in a group. I do, yes, have things to say about Wild Weather. So I'll come to that.
I also have something to say about them. I had them only half an hour ago or 40 minutes ago.
We were talking about them last week, and I've since found out more about them actually. So Group F. I'm not sure. I think we picked this last week. Sweet Child of Pine from Weird Beard, that went through in first place.
Oh, really? Not this time next year, Rodney?
That went through in second place. So, yeah, those two did go through. I think they were the best names out of
That's
that.
Good. That's good.
Factory 8 was quite good. Double Barrels, talking about Wild Weather, Double Barrel, they're also Reading ways. So, right. Group G. now you're excited. Well, I can't guarantee it'll be that exciting, really, but yeah, we have been checking them out. So before we get to that, though, Group G, Rasko, White Hag, Fiesta Nuda, Pressure Drops, I Just Want to Go to the Pub, Lacada, which you claim to know, East the Beast, and Hops and Dots by a Speedboat. And not surprisingly, Pressure Drops, I Just Want to Go to the Pub went through. Very topical beer name, obviously, because we all do. Backed up. I thought You Want to Buy a Speedboat was going to go through on that one, but in fact, White Hag, Fiesta Nuda went through on that.
Yeah.
I didn't bother writing down the percentages. I thought that'd be too dull, but yeah, they were the top two went through. And so I think it's next weekend, or just after next weekend is the next round. There's still a few groups to go. Group H was yesterday, and it contains McColl's Let's Eat Pies and Talk About Men's Mental Health. I still got the can up there. There it is. Time and Tide Sprat Waffler, 5 Points Old Greg's Barley Wine, and Salt's Shoop. Shoop with an exclamation mark. Maybe not that well known beers in there, but who do you think went through with that?
I can't call it.
Well, in first place, McColl's Let's Eat Pies and Talk About Men's Mental Health went through.
Good.
I thought, surprisingly, I thought the other two would do better, but Old Greg's Barley Wine from 5 Points went through.
Damn.
I thought Sprat Wafflers and Shoot were quite funny beer names, so I thought they would go through. Yeah, Old Greg's Barley Wine. I'd love to know who Old Greg is now, having said that. As making some good points, beer reviews. Talking of mental health, go check out my latest YouTube video. Certainly will do after this. And anybody else, go check out on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube when we put it up during the week, it's a simple step across from our YouTube to Beer Reviews. And doing a fundraiser next month. We'll look out for that. We'll mention that.
Yep.
And finally, and one that Billy's now been waiting for, Group I, which is live at the moment, goes on till 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So still time to vote for this, unless you're watching it during the week on YouTube, as I've just mentioned, in which case it's a bit too late. But Group I consists of Workbench by Fine Ales, Cake Batter Swing by Wild Weather, Garden Brewery Pale Ale, and Xylophone Island by Boxcar. So yeah, we was talking about Wild Weather last week. Cake Batter Swing.
Yes.
So I was having a look today, and again, it's another brewery that I had a shed load of beers in the cart and couldn't pull the trigger because it was too much. Not a bite, just because there was too many decent looking beers I wanted to try. But they're only in Reading. We've had Wild Weather several times in beer festivals. I'm sure we had them at Ealing. They always do some slightly crazy, fairly adjunct heavy and a lot of different. I mean, they've got their pale ales and their NEPAs as well alongside. They've got quite a good range in the cans, but they're based in Reading, which is really only just down the road for us. It's only a wee train trip away. Well, for me, it's a bus and a train. I know it's a bit further for you coming across London, but
actually, no. It's just 2 train journeys for me.
Well, yeah, yeah. So it just takes a bit.
I know, because I went to Reading last month for the first time in almost a decade.
Yeah. Not quite the same here, but yeah, Beanie Beer's had a basket full of wild weather. There's a lot of good beers on there. I didn't check out last week, but I did find out what Cake Batter Swing. Did you check them out? See what beer it was? Rasko?
Dude, no, I did not.
Check
I
this
have
out.
had. Yeah.
Check this out and bear with me, right? Cake Batter Swing is a dark cherry and Madagascar vanilla dark lager.
Ooh.
Exactly. How about that for combo? When you go dark cherry and Madagascar vanilla, I'm immediately going, it's got to be a stout, right? It's got to be like a milk stout or a pastry stout, but no, a dark lager, cherry and vanilla. I'm all up for some of that. Very up for some of that.
I'll be back in a sec. Keep talking.
I'll keep talking. That's really because you mentioned it's luck. Okay, it does sound really good. We're up for some of that. And they got some. The other one I had in the basket, I'm really curious to try, is their what was it, the cucumber sour, which is not a combination I generally like, but having had Orbit's tzatziki sour, which is essentially cucumber and yogurt sour, I was kind of interested. I like cucumber, don't really like cucumber in beers, but Orbit's tzatziki sour is pretty good, so I would try their cucumber sour from Wild Weather. They also got a blueberry sour, and I'm not a big fan of sours generally, but I do like blueberries, so they did have a good range. I'd say I had about 60 quid in the basket. I couldn't really do it. I do want a little trip to Reading though. Check out their tap room. We reviewed the cucumber beer and paired it with a lamb kebab. Absolutely, yeah, I can totally see that because it's a cucumber and lactose sour, isn't it? I think. So yeah, that absolutely goes with that very Mediterranean kind of vibe. Once I'm checking out your videos, my apologies, I haven't checked out enough of yours. I will go back and have a look at that. Definitely, I'm sure we'll definitely follow you on. We definitely subscribe on YouTube, I believe. So we'll go back and have a look at that.
Anyway.
Yeah. What type of beers did you have, Rasko? You said you had one of their beers. Was it today?
Yes, only an hour ago. Looking at the time, I had wild beer. Not wild beer. I'm sorry. I had their pale. Pale in the art and craft, and found it to be most enjoyable while I had a conversation with Super Fred, the ultimate barman. And I quite enjoyed that. There's a few good beers on there in a moment. I will admit I'm trying a lot of lighter, clearer beers, just to be fair, because I've noticed that once again my beer of the year list is stacking with darker beers.
Well, they tend to have that stouts and the porters on the. It's only fair. You like what you like. You can't apologise for it.
You can't, and you shouldn't. But you've got to be fair at the same time. And so therefore, I just I had it and I was very enjoyed it. I wish I had a pint, but there you go. I had to go or dash off to get to here. I was thinking at one point I might have to start the stream walking down my street. Nope.
Or stay in the bar and do it live from the bar. We got to do that at some point soon coming up. And just talking about dark beers, there we go. He says, Heather Honey Imperial Stout is fucking good. It sounds amazing. I'm up for a bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the darker stuff. And if it comes to the lighter beers, again, it's kind of usually for me adjunct heavy kind of fruit pales and even not adjunct heavy, either just by the hop profile, giving it a big fruit profile, big fruit flavour.
Well, you're right. You can't ever ignore it. This is why I still drink sours and saisons. I mean, they're drinks I want to like, and I admire a lot of the notes and tastes of them, but they're just not my first preference. But you know, I'm a New England IPA convert.
Mm-hmm.
I had a New England IPA today. I won't say who from, but there you go. Enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Thomas, Window Beer Reviews. Good evening, sir.
What's up, brother?
Last night, and I caught the live Thomas interviewing Rod J. Beer Adventures in America. It was up at 1 a.m. this morning, so I happened to stay up anyway last night, having a couple of beers last night. I really enjoyed Thomas's interviews, really cutting, incisive questions. And, you know, Rod's not short of a word or two, but even he was caught out by some of the questions and wasn't stuck for an answer. He found an answer, but they were very good cutting questions that kind of made him think. He came out with some good answers there. So, yeah, no, I enjoyed that last night. You know, the late hour.
I'll tell you what, Rod J, I highlighted him on this show a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I think he's got some great reviews. I briefly spoke with Rod J on a live stream, and I was way pissed.
We have, yeah.
Beer, yeah. And I really like his shows. It's informative. He's a bit fun. And when he can get a bit serious, he's done a lot of good things for the latest, the beer reckoning, the brewing reckoning, whatever you want to call it. He's done two really good interviews, which are really quite compelling and quite touching. Check him out. I'm not going to say much more, but check him out. He's something else, man. I got to give him. He's got a guy with a lot of heart and not so much, if I'm honest, preachiness, which sometimes happens. He just tells the story as it is. I really got a lot. I've never met the man. Well, I've met him virtually, pissed. But
yeah,
you know,
and he does it in a very kind of easy listening kind of way. He's got a great voice, and he's not like too preachy. He's not too like aggressive. He just tells a great story. He's got a very listenable voice for me. You know, I can listen to his opinions and generally agree with him. He had some very good points. Yesterday he came out with, you know, sort of, you're not meant, again, if we were talking about politics, but, you know, Thomas asked him about religion, and he made some very good points about that sort of thing. So that's another one to check out. It's up on YouTube. Window Beer Reviews. Thomas is, I say, insightful and incisive questioning, and he comes up with some very good questions.
Yeah. I would agree with you, Bearded Beer Review. Rod is a legend, absolutely.
Yeah. I forgot to say, we've done a beer few. Talking about the darks, I moved on to a stout.
Oh.
I haven't done a Czech beer earlier. This is English beer, I suppose, although it's not as such because it's called Black Russian. Another one by arguably my favourite, Rasko up in Malton in Yorkshire. A coffee-infused Baltic porter. So sorry, not a stout, my bad. It's a porter, which is roughly the same thing. Oh, I've disappeared off the edge. Not too much coffee in it, to be fair. It's coffee infused. but it's not coffee heavy. It's more a kind of roasty flavour that you get with like a roasted porter. Nice and roasty, nice and deep, nice and dark, nice and smooth. I hate using the term. It's a little thin because it's meant to be, but very drinkable. A really nice Baltic porter there.
Calm me down.
Yeah, no worries, Beardy. We understand that. We had a lot of words to say about that particular matter, and we saw the explosion on Twitter. And fair play to Rod for stepping in. And we will always say, if anybody needs a chat about that sort of thing, we're always here. We don't stand for any of it. We don't publicly comment about things like that. We kind of stick to the beer, mostly because, we're kind of in the background a little bit of it. But, absolutely understand that comment, Beardy. We're aware of the situation.
I don't think there's anything to say about nothing.
But Beardy makes a very good point. It's it's about mental health, and it's about. Raggy says this a lot. Raggy makes very good points about it. It's about the community sticking up for one another and helping out one another, and just at the end of the day, being nice. It don't take a lot to just be nice about it,
Yeah. You don't have to agree with each other, but you can just uphold a code of respect.
Oh, fuck me, I never agree with you half the time anyway, but I have a certain level. Yeah.
You have no idea how many times I'd like an electric shock button on this, which you can just press and just fuck off. Yeah. See, but that's why I'd be a better dictator. You don't agree?
Mate, if we had an electric button each, then we'd never get any work done. We'd never be able to say anything on stream.
Yeah, probably not. No.
Oh, that was Rasko. Don't. That was Rasko. Don't equate me to Johnny Rotten. I'm not a fan.
What?
Yeah, that's a very salient point.
And Disco, and you say something about nothing, you sounded like Johnny London. Who?
Johnny Rotten. Johnny Lydon.
Johnny who?
Johnny Rotten, off the Sex Pistols and the butter advert.
Oh, right. Yeah, him. Yeah.
Like the sound of his own voice, likes what he says and says what he bloody well likes. I'm not a fan, to be honest. Although sometimes he makes a lot of sense, to be fair, I'd say. Again, I don't agree with him necessarily, but sometimes he does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, really, that's a song reference, and the Sex Pistols were slightly before our time, in a way, so I don't know too much about them or their songs or their music. I've seen Johnny Lydon, Public Image Limited. I've seen him in a gig, festival, and I've seen Public Image, and I listened. But if he'd spent more time singing than he had gobbing off, I probably would have listened a bit more. And I didn't. It's not my kind of music. I like to hear what the singers are singing about.
Yeah.
So not a fan. But each their own. I know why people do like him. So
he had a few good songs though. Yeah? I mean, the Sex Pistols really had some passion about them. And you just sometimes you just glance over things, you don't properly listen. And I was listening. I listening to Radio 2, The Rhythm Nation, and DJ Spoonie's covering Trevor Nelson, and arguably doing a better job. But hey, I'll let him decide. And he played a track from Stevie Wonder, Lights in the City. And that song never gets played throughout the whole length of it.
yeah,
Because there's the last verse of it. I mean, he just gets angry.
Yeah.
Because it's all about oppression. And my God, it's just the passion in the voice. And it's just like Johnny Rotten, like the passion of just wanting to be anarchy. Part of it was self-indulgent. That is the punk movement, if I'm honest. And part of it had a point to just be different. But it's just the passion that sometimes you glance over in music, and then all of a sudden, after years of hearing the same track for years and years and years, hang on, there it is. Oh my God, I get it. Oh, wow. I love that whole discovery process about you can listen to a track for decades and then wham, you've just discovered something about it. This is brilliant.
Absolutely. Monochrome Craft, good evening. Thanks for popping in again. Good to see you. What you're drinking?
Hey!
Wait, so Johnny Lydon called you, told you to fuck off home, called you cunt, and asked you got to sign back in the phone. Brilliant. They say never meet your heroes, and he was never a hero of mine. Right, so John's anger comes from his hatred of Malcolm in the Pistols. Yeah, I've seen biographies of them, and because I didn't really know too much about them, I didn't follow it with any great detail. But yeah, there was a lot of anger going around, wasn't there, to be fair, at that time?
Indeed.
Talking of which, Rasko, you got fixated again, so normal service will be resumed shortly. Hold on, it's coming back. Come on. Don't worry, come on. We need a little sign when this happens. It was like we need a little sign that says normal service will be resumed shortly.
Bring me back. Bring me back. Bring me back.
Here we are. We're there. This is so very punk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, Rasko. Come for the beer.
Yes.
There you are. Now I can hear you. I can hear you, mate.
And you've been circling. You were circling. Oh, fuck this. Right, yeah, I'm not going to repeat what I was saying last week. Anyway, right. Who do you think is going to win the whole siren thing? Any predictions? Any predictions on the actual Euros? Let's do this. We've been going for almost an hour.
Like I said last week, I think some of the groups. My prediction for the final, I still think, is Brew York through Barbara Streisand. And the other one, I think, is coming up in the last group, on the 22nd, Group L. I think a bit of an outside chance, to be fair, although probably Pilots and IPA will sneak in just by sheer popularity vote. But the other one I'd like to see in the final, which I think is a good beer name, is Elusive's Crisp Witty, which is just very, prescient, and it's very topical. So, right, no, yes, you're back now. You were pixelated for a bit, Rasko. You're back.
Great.
Does make it quite difficult for us to read comments. I think I've missed a few comments there. All right, yeah, about the Sex Pistols. Right, yeah, got you. He was upset with Malcolm. Yeah, see. I don't know enough about the Sex Pistols, but that's good knowledge. Love that. I love that.
Yeah, fair play. That's all good then. Well, I think we've done a good roundabout show then. Unless you've got anything more to talk about, or get off your chest. How are you? How's your mental health?
Nothing more.
I've just opened a bottle of Isles of
Purbeck, Isle of Purbeck, best bitter, Isle of Purbeck. Superb, a local beer. Cheers then, in that case.
How is it? Is it any good?
Well, Not that we encourage people to carry on drinking, but carry on drinking. We're fine with that. Always drink responsibly. We're fine with that. That's another beer.
Oh, Kent Beer Review. Hello, we've met you.
No, the only other thing that's good this week, I think I've been a bit lax this week on the beers. I've been off the beers a little bit this week. It's good to have a rest now and again.
Yeah, it says Kent Beer Review, what you're drinking. Monaco and Craft, if you're still watching what you're drinking, give us something to talk about for another 10, 15 minutes. I've been a bit lax in our beer reviews, and I'll tell you why. I'm not going to tell you why here. I'll tell you why here privately. But yes.
Well, my excuse was I had the second jab on Tuesday, and although I had some beers Tuesday night for National Beer Day, I had a couple, and then like Tuesday, I just felt a bit like, I don't know if it was the beer. Well, I only had 2 beers, so it can't have been the beer, or whether it was the jab, and I've just felt a little bit like not able to come up with words this week, so I haven't done any reviews this week, and I've only had a couple. I had some beers last night watching the football, but they were beers I've done before, so I didn't do any reviews or anything like that. I just sat back and enjoyed a beer, which is good to do now and again. I don't think it matters if you necessarily do beer reviews all of the time.
So, Craig has been drinking way too much this week. Cheers, Craig. Monochrome is on Daya again. We've taken from Zombie Juice IPA. How is that? Is it good? It sounds tasty. And Craig said, I've had a double jabbed 3 weeks now. Fair enough.
Yeah, Craig, 3 weeks ago, yeah, so.
Tell us about your little beer adventure you had on YouTube in Bristol. How was it to see your streaming powers? Everyone, how was it, man?
Well, it was quite funny from this end, watching other people get fairly well wasted on some good beer and doing lives, and it was kind of amusing, which I think was the whole point. It was meant to be, wasn't it? So.
Well, yeah.
And again, Bristol, another place we've got to go to, Rasko, eventually, when I eventually get around to getting back out and doing stuff.
Dude, why don't we just get a whole picture of the globe and say there's a whole place we've got to get to, at this point?
Well, let's stick to UK first, because travel's a bit more awkward at the moment. I thought you was going to say, and I would have agreed with you, let's just get a camper van and go around all of the fucking breweries in the UK. That would be a great trip and a great YouTube show, wouldn't it?
It would be, actually. Yeah, come to think of it. Good idea. Make it happen.
Well, I didn't win the lottery again last night, so no camper van yet, mate. And camper van is one of the breweries we've got to go to. So I do want to go to all the breweries I've featured over the last year and a bit. I'd love to go and visit them. And they are fairly far-flung. So I've had beers from Kent to Northern Ireland to Scotland. So it will be quite a trip if we ever get round to all of them.
That would be good. I'd love to go up to Scotland. Kent says, it was wonderful. No fucks given with the lives pissed off. Are you going to Brooklyn?
That's great.
Yeah. Are you going to Brew London? Let me know. Everyone in the comments, let me know when you're going to Brew London. I'm probably going on Friday afternoon. Who's gone again? I've gone again?
Yeah, you went again briefly, but we heard you and you're back.
Oh, wonderful. I'm back. Technical difficulties again. Oh, dear.
Yeah. There we go. Don't worry, not long now.
Not long, don't worry. I'm enjoying everyone's company apart from yours.
No, what I meant was not long on Instagram, because we did say we'll do 50 or 52 shows, complete a nice year, and then maybe fuck off to YouTube, maybe.
We shall see. I haven't had a chance because I'm incredibly busy yet again. I mean, I became a freelancer to have more free time to do this, but I'm
Yep.
finding I'm having less free time to do this. I was in your neck of the woods actually this week,
Oh,
and
of course, yeah.
yeah, I wanted to pop by the Hop and Vine, and they don't do regular hours anymore. They do silly hours. Oh, you're going Friday afternoon to Brew London as well. I shall see you then, sir.
Superb.
Yeah, yeah, great. That's good because yeah, I what the Hop and Vine bar we support. I haven't been to in 11 months. You probably a bit longer. And man,
No, you were in the summer, weren't you, when they reopened?
July.
What, July? Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it might be 11 months. Oh, yeah, so, yeah, no, how was the beers going? I haven't been over there, even though it's down the road.
Well, I didn't get round there. I walked past, and it was like I walked past at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday,
Uh-huh.
and they weren't open till 5 p.m.
Okay.
Yes, so there you go. That's directly because of lockdown-ish issues, and I'm just a bit pissed off with that. But hey, there you go. I'm not pissed off at the Hop and Vine, never. Who haven't been on the show recently.
No, well, they've been back to working, really, I think, because, like, since March, I suppose. I can't believe how quick this year's gone. We're in June already, but, yeah. Yeah, Craig says, are you getting out soon? Yeah, I hope so, Craig. My personal situation is a little bit awkward, but yeah, I still haven't fancied going to pubs that much at the moment. Just because, I don't know, it's not, I was saying to somebody the other day, it's not how I want to drink, all this kind of sitting politely at the table, even though I do, but I want that option of just going to the bar, and I want to be able to rock up, and I know some places you can, and I don't want that. I don't know. I won't go into it too much because it gets a bit ranty, but yeah, no, hopefully soon. Like I say, I've had the second jab, so that should hopefully calm things a bit, and eventually I'll get back to. I'm not sure which pub to go to first. You know, it's like the last pint I had. Unfortunately, I know Rasko hates this. Was a pint of Guinness in Wetherspoons on Paddy's Day. So I rather thought that my first pint back would be a pint of Guinness in Wetherspoons on Paddy's Day, and it really didn't work out like that. So I don't know whether like my first pint back should be that pint of Guinness, or whether I should go somewhere better. Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yes.
That's why I'm not asking you. But it probably will be. I think it needs to be like the Hop and Vine, or
the Castle.
Island maybe. But again, I don't want to go to them places because they're quite small and it's impossible to stay away from people. And for now, I kind of am. I don't want to, but I feel awkward about it. So that's the way it is.
You've been vaccinated. You're fine. Don't worry. You're fine. Don't worry. You've been vaccinated.
It's just other people. You guys are all grand, but yeah, it's other people.
And listen to you.
Person listen to you. It's not an argument, Craig. We discuss it for 20 minutes and decide I'm right, don't we, Rasko?
No, we listen to my dictations because I'm supreme leader of everything.
There was that great memories this week, Rasko. It was the one that our mate Don took of us in the Brie Louise, and Don captioned it brilliantly. It was like, this was the point that Rasko agreed with Disco that he would take him on in any bicycle race, even though Rasko not bicycle.
And I'd piss on you. And
yeah, but you never take on that challenge, though, Rasko.
Sorry, there was 2 stages to that challenge. I didn't see you taking on to the first challenge.
No, watch this space. Watch this space. I have news coming up, maybe, possibly. It's not the same. Really? It's not the same as the challenge, but you're right. I do need to do that kind of big challenge like you did, but it'll be something different, maybe. If you're available, join me, and we'll see how it goes.
We'll see. But you know, you know what? Getting a bicycle, isn't hard.
I've got a bike.
I can.
You don't even own a bicycle, so how can you challenge me to a bike race on a bike you don't own?
Okay. Listen to your logic or lack of logic. Getting a bike is not a hard thing to do. It's not like I have to get precious minerals and make it myself.
Really, thanks very much indeed. Good drinking, we were good for a chat, and some good heads up on the breweries we were talking about as well. Thank you very much.
Yes.
We'll see you again soon. Good stuff, sir.
Yes, I know that bit that the comment you say often, but it's not hard to get a bike, mate. I don't understand why you can't concede. But I would have pissed on you.
I wasn't questioning the fact the ability to get a bike. It's the fact that I would have beaten you in any bike race.
No.
Not on a bike.
No.
Anyway, watch this space. Watch this space.
Yeah. It might move soon. Electric shock. Hey, Craig, honestly, you really don't want to meet us. Because I'll be honest, I haven't seen Disco since January 2020, and I'm quite happy with that. This once a week thing, fuck it. Once this beer show was just my face, and I think it was perfect. It was just perfect. I don't know where that beer show. It's somewhere on Instagram, and it's just perfect. I should call it a perfect show. It was just my face.
I love your optimism, Rasko. It's always a breath of fresh air. It's a joy to behold is your optimism and positivity.
Hence why I should be leader of the world.
No, that's why you should be my right-hand man. You should be my...
No.
You should be in charge of things and stuff.
No, Disco, you should be in charge of complaining. I should, yeah.
I don't think a department of complaining as a government. It's not your point. It's not your presence to complain. It's your presence to do.
No, not in my government.
Okay, as long as there's a good salary with it, I'm up for it. If you're in charge of shit, I'll take any position really. I won't necessarily do any work, but.
Yes. You'll be posted out to a far distant outpost on the in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Can you be a bit more exact?
No.
Can you be a bit more Pacific?
Monaco Craft, you would be involved in the government. You'd be head of logistics, by the way. I don't know why, but you would be. Kent Beer Review, you'd be head of beer reviewing. Congratulations. That's a great honor.
That's definitely going to get you at least 3 votes.
Yeah. Votes? No. Elections are done. No.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
No, elections are done. Elections are complete. And there will only be one TV channel.
Rasko TV.
That's right. I'm up for a beer when I'm next in London. Ken, yes, please. Yes, come up for a beer. Why not? Yeah.
I'm up for beers once I get back and sort it and back out and work out the situation. But yeah, definitely. I owe you a beer.
You know what, Ken? I'm going to go to your neck of the woods and have a beer. Never mind. I'm sick of fucking London. Even though I'm now part of the pro-London independence movement. I don't know what that really means, but I'm now part of it as of this morning. Yeah.
London independent. I'm not sure how it works. Rasko, I saw that conversation. I don't know how that works.
Sure, why not? I'm up there, Hancock. You think I'm hopeless, but keep me on the... Monica, I do not think you're fucking hopeless. You're everything but, mate. You're everything but fucking
Possible.
hopeless. Ken, you're saying I'm crap at reviewing. Anyone can do it. Ken, you are everything but crap at reviewing.
It's true that anyone can do it, but not anyone can do it well, consistently, and of any interest. To be fair, that's why I don't know. I say that about myself. I've stopped doing sort of visual beer reviews because I just stumble and stop, and that's why I prefer the live stuff, because you can make mistakes and cover it, whereas in like just a piece to camera review, you have to stop and like edit it and or go back and do it again, and I just
I would say, Ken Beer Review, you are number 3 in the world of beer reviewing, arguably number 2, and the person who I consider number 1 might be on the show soon, but you probably know that.
Not sure we should be putting hierarchy and numbers to this. It's like we're all in this together, Rasko.
Well, actually, you're right. I'm number 1, and I'm already on the show because it's the
I'd say you're more of a number 2, Rasko, but that's a different. Cheeky banner.
So yes, there is going to be hopefully a decent. No, there is going to be a decent guest next week, providing it all goes to plan.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say who. We're going to confirm it during the week. But I would say next week's going to be good. It's going to be a great interview, great chat. Yes. We've been working on this for a few weeks to get this done. We were hoping to do it a few weeks ago, but there were a few issues. And I want to ask him what were the issues. Craig probably knows what were the issues. And yeah, so who's at Bigfoot Beer Festival at the moment? Anyone? It's a beer festival, but like a music festival.
Yeah,
music.
It looked pretty good, to be fair. There's a lot of people there in the beer world. And again, it's one I definitely would have looked at, but for other options.
Craig, put it this way.
You're always welcome on the show.
Craig, put it this way. If the guest doesn't show next week, you're up. We want you back.
Should you be?
I'm not going through another week of rearranging things and the schedule, because we sort of have a plan. And yeah, we got some good beer reviews coming up on the show. I'm not going to say who. Anyway, but yeah, Bigfoot Beer Festival. I mean, sounds good. That sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't quite enough in the music for me. Not that I have to know all the bands to go enjoy a music festival. I think you can go and find new stuff. But some good breweries there. Definitely Signature Brew were there. Who else did I see? Again, my terrible memory fails me now, but I did see a lot of good breweries going on about it during this week and over this weekend. So look good stuff. One to look out for next year.
Yeah, indeed.
Really successful. Yeah, Craig, we tried to get Raggy on, and we haven't. We definitely need to chat to Raggy and get him to come on. He was trialing going on Instagram, but he sort of left on the Instagram. But yeah, we need to check out Raggy. Well, we did mention it a few weeks ago. Just a case of time, and it's now coming into holiday season and stuff. So
I think the next couple of weeks are going to be interesting, and that's all I'm going to say.
Hopefully so.
Because tonight we were meant to be drinking Czech beer, but that kind of fell through. But hey. Anyway, I think I'm done now. Are you done? Or do you want to continue being insulted by me?
I've been drinking far too slowly. I did have another beer to do, but I'm working my way down this actually very tasty but quite heavy coffee porter. Black Russian. Not
Really?
enough coffee in it, but yeah, no, that's fine. We've done it nearly an hour and a half again. We always try and keep it down, but we've gone through all of the runners and riders so far at Beer Name Euros by Siren over on Twitter. Catch up with that next week. See who's gone through and who. I think the next round starts next Sunday, so we'll be able to look at all the names that have gone through and see what groups they're in. Do another group of one goes through, so we'll have a look at that next week. Be an interesting names.
In one word, can everyone describe to me who's still watching the England performance last night? Be nice, be gentle. Just one word. We've got 2 more minutes. Off we go. One word.
Okay, my word would be satisfactory.
My word would be boring.
Yeah, I think having won the first game, the next two were just they didn't really push for the win, but they didn't look like losing. But yeah, I think it wasn't terrible. They weren't all over us. We didn't lose, and there was a lot of good points. I kind of enjoyed it because I had a good few beers. I had some good stuff. So I was all right. Again, watching at home is different because I prefer watching in a pub with a beer. But shocking, says Craig. Well, yeah, that's fair enough. Fair, because you want to go and win, especially against Scotland.
Should have.
Yeah, well, but for the width of a post again, John Stones, wouldn't it? If that had gone in, different talking points. So.
But you know what? There was a bunch of Scottish fans who were celebrating. I don't know why they were celebrating so hard. And they were cleaning up Leicester Square in the morning. And so fair play to them for doing that.
Yeah,
I don't really understand why they were so happy because the fact is, your offense is crap. It is very poor. Your midfield's okay, and your defense is all right. And England were just asleep. Let's be honest. England, if they'd woken up, I don't know, Harry Kane, I feel it had to be taken off. Sorry to say it, but you weren't performing well. And then when Harry Kane got taken off,
he didn't get the balls in. He was getting marked out of the game. He just couldn't get into it, and everything went down through Sterling and Foden. So Kane did a job of taking 2 defenders out most of the time. The fact he didn't get on the ball or didn't get any shots away is kind of not his fault because if the ball don't come into him in the area, he can't get onto it. And he did it. He did it the previous week. You see him coming deeper and deeper and deeper to try and get the ball and playmaking. Then there's nobody further forwards, but he did it a bit yesterday as well.
Well, this is the ultimate problem. The whole team's built around him, and I didn't understand why they took Foden off because he was the only one playing with any passion.
It was a little bit strange yesterday, but then we have got other players that can play with that passion, and then probably thought Grealish was going to do a better job because he's been held back. But yeah, so. As I say, I'm British. I'm good. I'm in an easy position of if England are doing well, I'm Welsh. I can go and support Wales quite happily. Yeah, Welsh. And my great-great-grandfather was Scottish, so I'm just as happy supporting the Scots, but not when they play England.
If you can't beat Scotland, you're never going to get into later stages. Goldens was the best player on the pitch.
Well, no, you see, that's the thing. We got a point. Foden was the best player on the pitch. Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair enough. Probably, yeah, Foden or Sterling, or Mings, actually, in defence. But we got a point. We're on 4 points because we won the first game. If we hadn't won the first game, that point would have looked shit. But
yes.
4 points. We don't even need a point to go through. But a point on Tuesday. Good job, isn't it? It's like, job done. You don't need to be amazing in the group stages. You just need to get out the group. And where before we've gone and got like 2 draws and a loss, or 3 draws, or whatever it is, not been enough. As long as you win one and get a draw, you're probably going to be okay. What happens next in the next round, that's when we can start saying they're a bit shit or whatever, if they haven't really got it together. But like I said earlier, you should go and win all of your games, because that's what you want to do. Or at least have a battling draw, score draw. Again, Tuesday is going to be interesting. I might do a few more beers on Tuesday, because do a few Czech beers, do a few English beers, and like a little review beforehand.
Yeah.
This week. We should see. I'm a bit more philosophical about it. You know what I mean? As a fan of an unfancied lower league team, I'm not a Premier League team at all, so I can just go, well, whatever, just enjoy the beers. Football's incidental to the beers to pay out. And it's the same for England. To let down, you know. That's how I go with England as well. If you don't, do you know what I mean? It's just like, whatever happens, happens. And the best thing about it, not the best thing, one of the things about it is we only have to wait another year to feel this disappointed again. Because it's been delayed a year, 2022 World Cup, we can feel this shit and this all over again. Assuming we qualify, and I don't even know what the qualification for next year is, I just assume that we are. That would be the real disappointment if we don't even qualify for a fucking tournament. It seems to have lost Rasko again. Where have you gone? Another round of disappointment and good business, and hopefully some football. In the meantime, see what happens this week.
Don't worry, Ming's back.
Good.
Anyway,
I was just saying. One of the plus points is we only have to wait until next year to feel this level of disappointment once again. Because we can go through this shit again next year too.
Greg, you didn't get excited about Euro '96.
Well, Euro '96, it was one of the best performances, wasn't it?
I got excited about 2006. I mean, it wasn't a great competition, but I thought England, that was the last great stand for England until 2018.
See, they all merge into one for me. It's like, I forget which year is what, apart from '96, which was probably the first tournament I remember really getting into. Because '96 was when I got into football in a big way. I mean, '96, I still was only watching on TV, and again, I thought at the time about going, but I didn't.
Fair enough. The best teams, 1996. I'm assuming you're saying not 1,000 years in the future. Fair enough. Well, I think 1996 was very good. It gets hyped up a bit too much. 1998, we didn't go very far in the competition, but we had a very valiant stand. And actually, in 1998, the competition went downhill when England left. England-Argentina was the best game of the entire competition. I still get goosebumps watching highlights of that game. I don't enjoy it. But I do believe we've beaten Argentina every time since we played them. And next World Cup in 2002, we eliminated them through a controversial penalty, which we probably shouldn't have earned. But, 2002, we had a great run. You know, in fact, if I'm honest, things went downhill for England when Sven-Göran Eriksson left. I was a big fan of Sven. I met Sven. I thanked him on behalf of the nation and apologised.
Well, it was kind of a weird appointment. I didn't ever warm to him because he was a friendly, affable guy, but just he had nothing. He had no personality about him to like boss the players and say like come out with some like really good sound bites and have some good team changes. And it was all just very easy going.
England managers aren't allowed to do good sound bites. If England managers were allowed to do good sound bites, Harry Redknapp would have been England manager. There's no doubt.
Yeah, true. Even Roy Hodgson had some kind of personality about him. He had some kind of. He just had that kind of like affable nature, and he could be a bit of fun, but I don't know. But then again, even him, I used to I've seen it come up on memories when you bring in like who did you bring on? We brought on like Henderson on or somebody that was just like if that's your answer, you're asking the wrong question kind of thing. But yeah, Sven didn't really took to that well because he seemed a little bit dull really in his choices.
He was dull, but in the end of the day, he got some pretty damn good results. And if it wasn't for the mental, psychological state of the players, I think they would have gone on to win. And that's just a shame. Sven's been in the wilderness ever since. If I'm honest.
I would love to have seen what he could have done though. He was the next best character manager we've had since probably Terry Venables, to be fair.
And I think there was even a lot of luck on Venables' side. Even when Venables came back with McLaren in 2010, 2008. Sorry, 2007. He came back with McLaren, working in as assistant. They looked like a bunch of clowns, and I think Venables had lost whatever he had. He lost that fire. You need a bit of fire to be a good manager. I think Mourinho's
stayed on after Euro '96. He didn't need to go because of the old ridiculous court case. But if he stayed, that would have been quite interesting. Anyway,
indeed, it would have.
Long about football. We always say we don't really talk about football here, but
No. We say this every time. You don't talk about football. I'll talk about football. No problemo. No problemo. I'll talk about any sport.
We'll talk about it.
I may not
agree on it, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Well, I'll talk about any sport. I may not know anything about the sport, but I'll talk about it. But there you go. So, what other sport can I talk about? No, I'm not going to talk about any other sport. There's a good documentary actually on the BBC iPlayer about Euro '96 and all the players, what they're doing now. It even features Gascoigne, and he's like this. This a lot.
Yeah, he's got some great stories, though.
Yes, indeed. Don't we all? Anyway, I think it is time to wrap it up. We've done an hour and a half. I've said goodbye 3 times already. So.
Yes, indeed. No, you're right. Let's not drag it out. Thank you to everybody. BD Beer Reviews. Go and check his YouTube out. Thanks to Craig from Kent Beer Reviews for popping in. Monaco Craft. And Phil Smith, thanks for coming in, and Judy Key as well. Thanks to everybody else for popping in. And if you're watching this on YouTube afterwards, firstly, thank you very much. And good to see you. Same again next week. Hopefully with a guest.
Yes, big guest, hopefully. No pressure, guest. Cheers.
Cheers,
bye-bye.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye.
Believe not to lose control.
Yeah, believe enough to lose control. Bye-bye.